Yo guys, so in the last few years, there's been more people than ever that have started the business of drop shipping. And while I love, the business that I came up in and the business that I've been doing for 6 years now is getting, a lot more recognition and it's becoming more popular, it's also hurting. Not necessarily myself. I think, there's more than enough volume in this business to support anybody who wants to get into it. But the issue is people are giving the business a bad name. So chances are, if you've done dropshipping for a little while, or at least if you've been on the social media space, if you've watched videos, you've seen stuff on TikTok, you've definitely seen people that have either been talking bad about dropshipping, talking about the classic term now of a dropshipping guru, people that go online, try to teach you a couple things about the business, give you some super basic knowledge that leaves you wanting more and has you funneled in to buy their $10,000 course or whatever it is they're selling you. And that's what's made dropshipping look so bad as a business because, for one, it is a very easy barrier to entry business, and people market it that way just so they can sell you a product and just so they can, loop you into the whole feed of dropshipping. And I've been very involved with the content space. I've made content regarding this business for years now. It's been almost 5 years of being on YouTube, and every video I've ever seen in the last couple years has been either misleading, has been trying to sell you a dream, or just people that are not knowledgeable, people that boast results from 2020 with old Shopify dashboards just to show you that maybe they made a little bit of money with drop shipping when it was easy, and now they're trying to sell you a course. And that's giving this business a bad name. And I guarantee you that there's more people than I could even count that have gotten deterred away from this business because they've either tried it with the wrong information or they just have gotten stuck and had no clue what to do. So that is what I want to change, or at least get you on the right path to changing in this video. And I want to, kind of write out all my thoughts here and show you how to start drop shipping as a complete beginner and how to actually make $10,000 from this business. I'm not going to be, taking any loopholes. I'm not going to be, showing you anything that's misleading. I'm not going to be hiding information that leaves you wanting to buy my course or whatever. And I'm just going to be completely upfront and transparent and show you guys exactly how to start this business as a complete beginner. So first things first, before I actually get into the strategy, the first thing I want to break down is 10K from ecom and show you guys the process, the overview, the breakdown of how to get to $10,000 a month from e-commerce or dropshipping. So if we want to break this down and do a little bit of math here, let's go ahead and say we were selling a $65 product. That's also known as, AOV, which would be your average order value. Customers are paying $65 per product that they buy from our store. If we can do 5 sales a day, which to be honest with you is really not that much. 5 sales a day is not bad at all. If we could do 5 sales a day, that's going to be roughly, once again, I'm not too good with math here, $325 a day, if I'm right. I think that's accurate. So $325 a day, obviously multiplied by 30 is somewhere around $10,080 a month. It's a little bit off. I don't want to do the exact math right now, but something 325, 30, yeah, something around 10,080, 10,100 a month. So that being said, that's obviously revenue. So you're not going to be pulling in $10,800 or $10,080 a month yourself. Basically, that would be maybe you got $4,000 or $5,000 profit, which, for most people's situations, that's perfectly enough money to completely live off. And, one of my students that I actually coach inside of my program these last couple weeks, he was making about $1,500 a month from his minimum wage job. Ended up getting to the same point where we sold, I think our product was like $78, started getting 5-6 sales a day within literally 7 days after launching the store. And then he was doing about $4,000 to $5,000 a month in complete profit, moved out of his parents' house, was able to stop looking for job applications, was able to drop out of college actually, buy his first car, and actually get into business full time. And now he's making more than enough. He's making about, $75,000 a year in pure profit just by using this strategy. The strategy that I'm going to talk about in this video is called scale. So scale is my exact strategy that I actually teach. So I teach this on YouTube. I teach this, individually to all of my students. and different from everybody else that teaches information on YouTube. This is a strategy that actually works in 2025. It's not some BS, find a product on AliExpress, get it on TikTok ads, and boom, you're rich the next day. It's just not that easy. But scale is the exact strategy that, I've refined over the last year and a half of, actually teaching people this business. And it's been the one thing that actually repeats itself and continues to work over and over again. So to break this down and show you guys, the actual method of dropshipping that actually works in 2025, first of all, S stands for source. Source basically just means we're going to be sourcing a product. Find something that actually works, that, is validated and continue to perform in the market. Something that a lot of people tell you guys, and I'm sure you've probably seen on YouTube videos in the past, is that a product is being sold by a bunch of people on TikTok. If it's had a bunch of revenue in the past, if it has a ton of orders on AliExpress, the product is saturated and you're not able to sell it anymore. I don't believe in that. I don't even ever consider products saturated. I consider them validated. If a product has worked and if it's gotten a ton of revenue, that means that it's clearly working, and there's definitely a way you can adapt upon that, find a way to sell that in a different way, and continue to piggyback off of that success. So basically, when you source a product, you're going to be validating this product and figuring out how you can solve a specific problem in a better or a different way. So to find something that is validated, first, you want to pick a problem. Pick a problem. That sounds a little disrespectful when I'm saying it, but basically you need to figure out a problem that a lot of people have in their lives, and we need to figure out what actually solves that problem. So the way you can do this is by using softwares like Calidata, literally going on TikTok and just typing in 50% off, typing in TikTok finds, typing in this changed my life, and figure out what actually people are recommending on the platform and find a problem that these products are trying to solve. Because, spoiler alert, every product that's doing over $1 million a month on TikTok or on Facebook is a problem-solving product. Now, a couple good examples of this would be, a back brace, something that keeps you in an ergonomic position so you're not hunched over all day and so you don't have chronic back pain. Sleep tape. You guys have seen that going viral on TikTok for the last couple years now. You put the tape over your mouth. It keeps you from being a mouth breather at night, gets you sick less, makes you stop snoring, gives you better, deeper sleep. The cold plunge, big problem-solving factor, extends your lifespan, all these different things. But these different problems, you're able to find one of these problems, figure out why it's working, and then figure out how we can validate that and solve it in a different way with a new product. Now, for example, if I were to do this myself right now, basically I just talked about sleep tape, right? That product is going insanely viral. There's been multiple stores that consistently do over $1 million a month with this product, and the problem that these products solve is better sleep. We're not talking about the product, we're talking about the problem. And the problem for sleep tape is better sleep. So now, let's figure out how we can find and solve this product in a different way with a new product. Now, if we do sleep gummies, melatonin supplements that, melatonin taking consistently for over 30 days, if you don't know, it could actually damage your natural melatonin production, and it's not necessarily safe to be taking every day because melatonin is actually a hormone. I've sold a ton of sleep products, so I'm not just a nerd. I've learned a lot about the industry, but yeah, basically melatonin isn't something good you're supposed to take every day. So what if we sell a sleep supplement that isn't melatonin, and it's all natural herbs and it's all natural stuff that can help you sleep better without, the risk of suffocating and dying in your sleep with sleep tape, right? We're solving the same problem, giving people better sleep, stopping them from snoring, making sure they can actually go to bed if they're insomniacs. But we're selling it with a different problem that people haven't seen. So we don't have to bring a new product to the market. We don't have to completely test a new strategy. We're selling the same exact problem, just in a slightly different way. And that is exactly how you source a product. Okay? Next is C. C stands for create. And what I mean by create is not just art or whatever. I mean create a high converting offer and creatives. So what I mean by offer isn't just throwing the product on your website for the cheapest price, undercutting your competitors, undercutting Amazon. You want to actually build a real offer. Now, there's multiple different ways you can do an offer. You can do a buy two, get one free. That's an offer. You can do a complimentary product. That is a great offer. You can do free ebooks. You can do discounts. You can do cart upsells, all these different things that can get people to want to buy a product, besides just obviously changing the price, is what's going to let you create the best in class offer. So a lot of my stores are priced more expensive than Amazon, more expensive than my competitors I'm literally competing against, and I'm still selling better than both of those sources just because I was able to create the best offer, because that's all business is about, is why should they buy your product over the next one? And it's because your offer needs to be the best. And basically, what I've been doing recently on my stores, my problem solving stores obviously, has been selling two different solutions to one problem. And that is an instant solution, and that is also a long term solution. And if you can offer that with the problem you're trying to solve, I promise you're going to be completely rich and your life will be changed forever. Because that is exactly what people want, and it gives you the personality in your brand to actually be successful with your product. Now, what I mean by that is a good example of the two solution steps I was just talking about would be this under eye cream I was just building a store with for one of my students. Basically, he wanted to sell this product that was a cream you'd put under your eye for eye bags, and it was a makeup product. It didn't actually do anything, but it just blended to your skin tone and instantly was able to completely get rid of your eye bags and make you look a lot better. But obviously, that's just a makeup product, right? After you take a shower at night, after you go to bed, it's going to be something you have to reapply every morning, and it doesn't actually solve the root problem. But not everybody wants to go find these products to solve the real problem because they want instant results. They want to wake up, they want to go to work tomorrow without a bunch of eye bags. They don't want to wait 3, 4, 5 weeks to get rid of them before they can even give you a 5-star review, right? So when my student Sergio started selling that product, he didn't see the results he was hoping for because it was solving a problem, yes, but for the price he was giving it for, it didn't have the good enough offer to get the results we were aiming for. Now, the way we solved that was by selling a two-problem solution. We sold an instant solution, which was already in the offer, which was the under-eye makeup applicator, whatever, that got rid of the eye bags. But we also included, for completely free, was some under-eye bag collagen masks that came with 30. So 30 days of under-eye masks you put on before you go to bed, 30 minutes, take them off, and within about a month or 2 months, your eye bags will be completely gone because it made your skin healthier, used the collagen, whatever it actually does. I'm not that knowledgeable on it, but that gave people the personality with a brand where they were like, okay, they're actually giving me a solution that will fix this problem, but they're also giving me a temporary solution that will give me the instant results and instant gratification I'm looking for. So people would get that product, leave instant 5-star reviews, then they would use the other product, the collagen masks, get a long-term result, come back and buy a product again. So that's what led us to, be able to get that store to over $50,000 a month within only, I think we started that store about 4 months ago. And now he's doing $50,000 a month with that. We're ending up to scale a couple different products now, and Sergio should be doing over $100,000 a month in revenue with his store within the next few months. So that's how important, crafting a great offer is, because once you can actually develop something that works, something that proves people that they can get the results they want and they can solve their problem, but also give them something that they can, benefit from long term, that's going to give you repeat customers, most importantly, happy customers, and also increased P value. What I mean by P value is perceived value. If someone's just buying, like I said, that under eye makeup, maybe the perceived value of that product would be $15. But they're also getting the free eye masks now. So now I see that product being worth over $50 because you're getting a 30-day supply of eye masks plus, a makeup product that'll easily last a couple months. So now I could definitely see that being worth $50. We sold it for $39.99, instant buy, instant impulse decision, was working with all that, did great, great product to sell. Now, moving on, after we craft an offer, we are moving on to A, which is advertise. This one is, obviously very simple. Once we have a great product, once we have ourselves a great offer, all we need to do now is get eyes to our offer. And once we get the right set of eyes on our offer, we'll start seeing money come in. Now, the way I'd advertise is by using Meta. Meta is literally the only advertising platform I touch now, just because it's the most consistent, it's the most profitable, and it has the easiest barrier to entry, regardless of your skill level of being able to advertise your products online. So definitely would use Meta. If you get absolutely no results, I'm not saying don't try TikTok. I just personally won't use it and I won't teach it to my students just because it doesn't work long term. You might have a $10,000 a month and then a negative $5,000 a month. Who knows? So when you advertise, basically, I'm not going to go too deep into meta ads. If you guys want to actually learn how to run meta ads yourself, you can either watch my free training in the description or go back a few videos and I have a dedicated ad setup guide. But if you are interested in watching, my free mini course, link for that in the description. But basically what I do is a 1, 1, 5 to 7. I guess that is a little misleading. These are arrows and these are numbers. Okay, what I mean by 115 with advertising. This means one campaign, one ad set, and 5 to 7 creatives. One campaign basically just means that's the house where all the ad sets and all the creatives are. This is going to be the primary spender. The budget goes through the campaign, and then you run that budget through the ad sets. But we're only having one ad set, so this is kind of, not important. But then the ad set spins from these creatives that we have, the 5 to 7 creatives. But instead of this creative spending $50 a day, this creative spending $50 a day, this creative spending 50, etc., all of these creatives are spending out of the campaign budget, which is $50 a day. So that is evenly split up across all 7 creatives. So you don't have to worry about spending $300 a day as soon as you launch a new test. All of your ads will be individually distributed, and Meta does a really great job on deciding which ad is performing the best and which ad to allocate the most of the budget to. So you can easily scale that $50 a day budget without having to follow, strict data and analysis over all of your individual creatives. Okay, so then we advertise. Next is L. L is going to be leverage data. We're going to be leveraging our data to scale our brand. So once we advertise the right way, and assuming we have a great offer, and assuming we have a great product, we're going to be able to see results from that. And like I said, we're only spending $50 a day here. So now we need to leverage this data that we got from all these individual creatives. Look at our CPCs, look at our hook rate, look at our hold rate, which I go over all in my free training if you're interested, or my ad meta guide, whatever you want to watch. Basically, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but we're going to look at all our analytics and the custom-made analytics I talk about, and basically that is going to teach you exactly what you need to scale. Now, if we see this creative has a 60% hold rate, and this one has a 20%, obviously we're going to run with this one and we're going to kill this ad. So now we're going to keep those ads in there, maybe make a new campaign, keep the other ones running, duplicate it, test a couple interests, and raise budget 20% a day until you cross a profitability guideline, kind of like a stop loss. If you're familiar with stocks or tradings, basically you're going to set yourself a stop loss. For me, it's just break even. So basically, I'm going to be raising my ad budget by 20% every single day. So if I'm spending $100 a day today on ads and I'm profitable at the end of the day, tomorrow I'm going to spend $120 on ads. And I'm going to keep raising that 20% every single day on my total budget until I make break even for a day. Once I don't make any money, we cut it back down to last time it was profitable. So go back down 20%, maybe 40% to keep the profit margins higher. And then I'm going to duplicate that campaign and try some interest, try to optimize further, and continue testing creatives. Continue testing creatives. Doesn't matter if you have 5 winners. Those are eventually going to die out. So you need to be constantly making new ads. Use the data that you got. Use the strategy that worked. Like I said before, if we saw, this one had a 60% hold rate, figure out why. Figure out what people interacted with in that video and continue replicating it with new styles, new creatives, new hooks, and just continue testing, because that's what's going to give you those long-term results. And that's exactly how you get out of $20,000 a month jail and scale to over $100,000 to $150,000 a month. Because I promise you, once you get to $100K a month consistently and profitably, $1 million a month is not that far down the line. Now that leaves us left with E. E stands for expand. So once we've scaled our brand, by the time we get to, E here and expanding, we're already going to be doing over 50K a month. Don't move on to this step until you're consistently doing at least $25,000 a month. Ideally over 50, but if you literally can't scale at all, you're doing 25K a month, it's totally fine to get into this. But with expanding, we are going to be migrating into UGC and affiliate. What this means is we're going to be scaling our brand via hiring full-time creators, either on a commission basis or a retainer, ideally a mix of both. Usually I'll pay my creators around 1 to 2K a month, plus about 5% rev from video. And these creators are going to be posting videos every single day on their channels, on their personal TikToks, as well as we run them as ads if we need anything filmed. But the goal is to have, 10 to 20 personal TikTok pages that are fully dedicated to your product, and you have UGC creators that are experienced in this field, know what they're doing, know how to talk about your product, and start posting videos related to it and bring you organic traffic. Because obviously when you're jumping the gun with ads, there's only so much you can scale at once, or else you're going to be stuck overspending and losing money. But with UGC, you can have a creator post 1,000 videos a week if you had someone who didn't sleep at all. But in reality, those creators don't cost you any money except maybe 1 to 2K a month as a retainer. You could even do this at complete rev share, but that's going to be, more pointed to affiliate. But, having these UGC creators that post videos every day for free is literally just bringing brand awareness to your page. That my goal when I hire creators for my scaling brands is not even to get sales. I'm spending, $5,000 to $6,000 a month right now on just UGC creators, and I don't want to make more than that. Like, obviously it would be great, but my goal isn't to be making more than 5 to 6K a month on those creators, because that's not the audience that I want. I want to bring brand awareness. I literally want as many people on social media, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, on Facebook, to see my brand and become familiar with it. That way, when I retarget those people that have viewed my social media posts, I put them in a Google Ads retargeting campaign, I put them into a Facebook Ads retargeting campaign, and then they've already seen my brand in the past. So, quick, ad lesson and media buying lesson here for you guys that actually want to become super, super rich in life. Basically, the holy grail of ad strategies that I've used to get my brands to over $50,000 a day with branded dropshipping is, if people recognize your brand, you're no longer just a product, you're no longer just problem solving, you are an identity. And that is exactly why people will buy from you. Because right now, if you're watching Iman Gadzhi, you'd probably watch the video. If you got an ad of Iman, you'd understand what he's talking about because you know exactly who he is. There's people that build real identities. If you saw, an ad for a Nike product that was really cool, and that Nike product solved one of your hugest problems, you trust them. You understand that they're a big brand, and you don't mind buying from them if it actually, works out in your favor. So that's where identity comes from. Now, instead of rambling here, the lesson I was going to talk about is retargeting. So my entire funnel for retargeting, basically what this looks like. We start off with cold ads in UGC. So cold and UGC. So these are my creators that post on my personal TikTok accounts, Reels, and YouTube about my products, so these are all videos, and they're posting a bunch of videos. Ideally, the goal is to get over 1 million views a month. It doesn't matter if these people buy, it doesn't matter who they're getting shown to, it just matters that we're going viral and people are seeing these videos on my personal page. But then we come over to Facebook. Facebook, we have a pixel, and that pixel is, let me see if I can draw a link here. That pixel is linked to all of these pages. So these viewers from TikTok, from Reels, from YouTube that are watching these videos, that's some eyes, they're watching all these videos, they're going to get added to this Facebook pixel, because you can add everybody who's watched any of your videos in the past in a pixel. So I don't want this person to buy. I don't care if they buy. I would be more happy if they waited, because then I can sell them on more. But once all of these people, X 1 million, watch these videos over the course of 30 days. Then I go to this Facebook pixel and run a warm to hot ad set. And basically on this, I don't have to sell the product. I can just go straight at it and say something like, hey, I saw you were interested in this product. We're offering a 50% off discount for the next 24 hours only, special to you because you've been interested in the past. Something like that. Obviously, not that simple because that just wouldn't convert. But we can run retargeting ads directly from this pixel that only show the ad to the people that watched the videos before. The YouTube shorts, the TikTok videos, the reels on my accounts, and we're only showing the ads to those people so we can target them specifically. Now, for you guys that watch YouTube, maybe even on this video before you started, have you ever watched a video and you feel like, someone is specifically talking to you, or you've seen the same exact ad that seems like it wouldn't be shown to everybody else so many times? And I've watched one Iman Gadzhi video, and then I got 10 different event promos in the same, 30 minutes after watching YouTube after the fact. That's not a coincidence. That's not because Iman's just paying $1 million a day for advertising, showing it to everybody in the world so many times. It's because I showed some type of interest. Either I clicked one of his links, I went to one of his funnels, or I just watched one of his videos long enough and showed enough interest to where now Iman Gadzhi is running a consistent retargeting ad. So that ad is going to show to me over and over and over again until I either disqualify myself or show enough interest and actually purchase this program, which retargeting ads are, super underrated. People don't use them nearly enough because they're not talked about, but everybody who's genuinely making money at scale are running these type of ads. So that exactly is how you're going to end up expanding to UGC and affiliate. Affiliate is basically having creators post on their own pages or your own just for a commission, either 25 to 30% per sale. So you're making about, $5 to $10 per sale. And basically, their success is based on how much money they generate you. So you don't have to worry about overspending or losing money on these people because you only pay them based on the results they got for you. But guys, that's been my entire spiel and breakdown of exactly how to start drop shipping as a beginner and the exact strategy that, genuinely works and converts for people and my current students. And like I said before, if you guys are interested in learning more about this business and you want to get into it, a few links for you guys down in the description. You guys can feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. I respond to literally all of my DMs and would love to help you out for free, as well as I have a free training in the description. Or if you just want to join my program and become one of my students, you can book a call with me as well. But look forward to seeing you guys' all success stories in the comments later down the year. But that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and peace.